Can you share with us who or what your early influences or experience were that really have affected your involvement in philanthropy and interest in it?
I might take them in decades. So, the first part of my life, I would say the influence, like most children, would have been the influence of my family. And the fact that they were very engaged in church, in civic events, and very outgoing people. My mother used to say that she could take my dad to the store and put a hat on him, and he would stand and talk to everybody until she was done with her shopping. And then she would come back and pick him up because he would talk to everybody and was very, very engaged in the community. That certainly had an effect on me. In college or in high school, I was really impacted by the opportunity to be in high school debate and forensics. We had an unusual debate team when I was a kid. There were 75 kids on my high school team, and so we were on the national debate circuit, and that certainly had an influence on how I looked at the world and the way that I was oriented. And then I went to a small liberal arts college, and certainly their effect on service. And I would say that decade, I'm a 60s kid, and so I ended up at college during the height of all of the anti-war chaos, if you will. When I was in college, that's how it felt. And really had to wrestle with what side of these complex issues do I want to be on, because I was forced to make that decision as a young person rather than allowed to be able to have some space. And so I think I probably am not an activist by nature. I'm more of an introvert. But that time was a very, anybody who lived through it will tell you it was a very difficult time to be, and a very energizing time. And then I sort of wandered into philanthropy because I couldn't get a job as a teacher. There were no jobs at the time, and ended up, taking what I thought was a good job that would get me started someplace. And then it was just sort of one thing after another. The last big thing I would say that was an influence was the step into formal philanthropy when I met Dottie and became involved, Dottie Johnston became involved in the Council of Michigan Foundations and the foundation world, and also became aware of the fact that there was all of this new scholarship going on in philanthropy, that it was as if I was missing something, and one day I walked in and somebody said, here it is. I knew that there was philanthropy. I knew didn't have words. I didn't know what it was I was looking for. And when I met the people who were involved in that scholarship, I was able to say, wow, this is it. This is what I'm interested in.